tell you, because each person has purpose and destiny. And everything that we needed, God gave to us. And he said, now let them. Now watch this. Here's the hardest part. Because I have 2 children that are in college. And I remember when my wife and I, we dropped them off at what other school than FAMU? Is there another college? When we dropped them off, I remember we dropped my son off first. And my son is a mama's boy. Always connected to mama. But when we dropped him off, she was teary-eyed. And I said, let's go, get in the car, we got to go. And he went into his little apartment, and for the first time, he was on his own. And we had to release him. And he had to make decisions on his own. And there are times where we want to intervene, but in order for him to be a man and realize who he is, he had to make him himself. God says, I've given you dominion over the earth. And he said, let them. He stops. He says, now we can't intervene because they must show their maturity. And let them have dominion over the earth. Let them control the sea. Let them control the earth. And if there's a negative outcome, it's because of. Now watch this. God then empowers us with the ability to change the course of nature. It would be unfair of God and unjust of God to put us in an earth that we couldn't control. What kind of God would tell us to have dominion over the earth and everything that happens is out of our control? That wouldn't be fair. But God equips us with everything that we need, and it originates or starts in the, I want you to follow me. 1% of the population of the world controls 97% of the wealth. They're called the 1%ers. And every one of them, Abraham Lincoln, Martin Luther King, Einstein, Plato, great men had one thing in common. They knew they were great. And because they knew they were great, they began to operate in a principle that God implemented in the beginning. The world called it the law of attraction, which means you attract everything that's in your mind. Here's where it gets deep. You ever heard if you can think it, if you can see it? Let me tell you something. I found out something. Because of who we are, God allows things to originate in our mind. And whatever originates in our mind is when you open your mouth, it brings that thing to pass. Whew. One of the tricks of the enemy is to get you so caught up on the negativities of life that all you see is how bad things are. And when you see how bad things are because of who you are, you're able to bring to pass what you see. I'm cautious now what I think. No wonder the scripture says whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things of a good report, if it be any virtue, if it be any praise, do what? Think on these things. Apostle Paul says in Philippians 4:13, I can do. Wait a minute, didn't say some things. That means I have divine power within. So I'm careful what I think. And here's what the enemy will do. He'll continue to plant negative thoughts in you because he wants you to bring forth negativity. And it's something about when you think of something and you speak something. Wait a minute, where have I heard that from before? Genesis 1 and 2 says, Genesis 1 says, in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. Verse 2 says, and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the earth. But then something happened, and the Spirit of the Lord moved, and God spoke. Wait a minute. And changed things. If I'm made in his image and in his likeness, that means when I speak, I can change dark situations.